Hello everyone. So as you can see that if you are doing a work for a long time, then you get habitual of doing that. And once you do not do that work, there is some emptiness in yourself. So you feel like something is missing from your daily day-to-day life. So this was the point that was missing in my day because I am now habitual of recording the videos and it's around 2 in the night and I am having some cold. So I was not able to record the video today due to this cold, but when I was going to sleep, then I was not able to sleep at that time because as I said earlier, there was some emptiness I'm feeling. So that's how I am going to just complete this task for today and then let's see if I'll be able to sleep peacefully or not because this cold is just trying to uh, how do you say that, trying to just hold up my nose so I am not able to breathe properly, not in that way but the way in which someone is getting cold and then they are not going to breathe, so that. So in this session, so basically in today's session I have learned about the chapter 15, not chapter 15, it was session 15. And the words that I have learned in this session was known. So you have learned about this word that is known. So if something is known to me, then that is notus. So notus, it means known. So there are few words. Wait a minute. So there are few words that are very known, that are notorious. So you have heard about this notorious. So a politician is basically notorious, or you can say Adolf Hitler was very notorious. And what does that notorious means? Notorious means if someone is very famous but in a bad way, then that person is notorious. So let me remind you again. Notorious, known, not known, notorious for some bad things. Then notoriety. So someone who is notorious, then that have a fame of notoriety. So bad fame is notoriety, and someone having this notoriety behavior is notorious. Simple, good. Then we have some one word that is called sum. Sum means accumulation of all those things. Then there is summus. If something is accumulated, then that means you are at the top. So summus, it means highest. So now let me tell you some words, then you will understand that okay, that's how easy these words. So consummate, consummate. So that means something that is perfect or at the highest skill. Consummate, some S-U-M-M-A-T-E, consume. So that means at the highest. So someone that is at the highest state or someone that is perfect, then we call that person as the consummate. Then to consummate, so just like consummate, to consummate, it means it is a behavior, a consummation, yeah, consumption or consumacy. So it means completion, and there is consummateness. So consummateness, that means state of perfection. So consummateness, state of perfection. And there are few more words. These are corrigo, means corrige. That means correct. So let me now tell you one word that we will be using for now. That is incorrigible. So in that means not, corrigible that means correct. So something that cannot be corrected, that is incorrigible. So in my childhood days, I have created or I have made a mistake that I cannot correct, and that mistake was kicking on the face of a person, and that time I was in class 1. So I just I was just running and I collide with a person, and in that collision, that person's tooth, tooth, so that got stuck with my this elbow, and that tooth, whose person was not in a good position, that went inside the stomach of that person. So this was the incident which was incorrigible for me. I cannot correct that. I just said sorry to him, but he called it, his parents arrived, and then I was called up by my parents, by the principal, and the entire inquiry happened. So these are the mistakes that you cannot correct, or these are the mistakes that cannot be correctable. So these are the incorrigible mistakes. And at that time, I was in a state of incorrigibility. It means the state of being incorrigible. Incorrigible is incorrigibility. Then there is a word that is vetus, that means old. So inveterate, that means old habit. Inveterate, inwards, or not veterate habit. Old habit is inveterate. Then there is inveteracy. Deep rooted habits are inveteracy. Veteran. So you have heard about this word as veteran in some soldiers. If you have watched some soldier movies, in the Game of Thrones, basically. So the soldiers, those who are talking, those we have talked about, or they have talked about, are veteran soldiers. That means those soldiers are very experienced person. So in my school, or in my college, there is a professor who is here when the college was developed. From that time, he is currently present. So it's around 26 years now that he is present in my college, till the time since when the college was established. So he is an experienced person in that field in my college, most experienced. So I'll say that that teacher is a veteran in here. He's a very experienced. If someone has experience of 10 or 12 years, then we'll say that person has experience of 10 or 12 years, or that person is veteran in his field. Then there is genesis, as we have learned about this word earlier also. Genesis means origin, or something that is related to birth. So genetics, or genesis means origin or beginning. Then genetics means study of the beginning. So hierarchy, study of heredity, and genetic, related to heredity. Genetics, so the science behind this genetics is genetics. Then gene, so you have learned about this word gene, that basically it is a biology term. So I'll leave it to you all. Then there is genealogy, so study of family tree. You will be using this word a lot. Genealogy, that means study of family tree. So genealogy. Then there is congenital. Okay, this is an important one. Congenital, it means gentle, that is from the birth, and con, it means with. So something that we have from our birth, so that is congenital. So if I have a birthmark, then that birthmark is congenital, because when I was born, that birthmark was present. So that birthmark is congenital to me. And there are, basically these are the words that are present in this session 15. And yes, the cold is just increasing on my brain, I think. How do you say, the cough, or the, I don't know. So let's see. Until then, bye bye. Good night.